is a disaster.
Get your free WNDU iPhone app. Go to the iTunes store and search WNDU.
Cast tonight, the art of the deal. Looks like this really is the final round in the healthcare fight. In the end, it may all come down to trust. House and home, a rescue plan for millions of homeowners drowning in debt. If it works, it could help everybody. Flight risk, a close call for a jumbo jet proves again. Airplanes and geese in the same airspace are a bad mix, but what to do about it? And making a difference by changing the world one child at a time. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. It may seem like we've said this before, but it looks like we're going to have a health care vote in Washington in just a few days. It will affect millions of Americans. We can't tell you everything that's in it because not all the details are done. Many lawmakers would still like to know. While the plan covers 31 million uninsured Americans, somehow student loans have also ended up lumped in with health care. And because it's coming down to a fight this coming week, the president has postponed what was to be a family trip to revisit the part of his boyhood he spent in Indonesia. Now, instead, it's health care in Washington. That's where we begin tonight with NBC's Kelly O'Donnell on Capitol Hill. Kelly, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Democrats here tell me today they got one thing they absolutely needed to try to get health care through. And that's what you mentioned, the president delaying by just a few days his overseas trip. Staying here, he can help them get past a couple of key hurdles. But each of those steps is tough because it carries a political risk, and their own members might have to pay the cost.
Any thoughts on?
There's a new urgency in the air today.
Good meeting. Good meeting.
That means House leaders leaning hard on hesitant Democrats. Their biggest leverage is the president's decision to stay in town and work the phones.
I'm delighted that the president will be here for the passage of the bill. It's going to be historic.
But to get there requires hard choices and navigating complicated rules. The Pelosi plan is for House members to pass the Senate bill as is, even though many strongly oppose parts of it. After that becomes law, House Democratic leaders would quickly pass a new bill to fix things they didn't like. But there's no guarantee the Senate would agree to make the same changes in a final package.
Members of the House are being asked to trust an untrustworthy body. I think there are a lot of skeptical members about whether the Senate can deliver on the things that they say they're going to.
In Pelosi's words, it will take a little faith.
There's certain assurances that they want and that we will get for them before I ask them to take the vote.
So in an unusual move, aides say the House wants the Senate to back them up in writing now. And that set off another debate today.
There are the rules, and we're going to follow the rules.
Republicans don't like the bill and don't like the Democrats' tactics intended to get something passed quickly.
That bill, no one on our side of the aisle has had an opportunity to see. Perhaps the Congressional Budget Office has had 72 hours to see it, but we haven't.
I tell my friend that you can say that we're ramming something through as much as you want, and it will not make it true.
People see things so differently here. Part of what they want to resolve is getting rid of some of the things that were commonly and widely criticized, like special deals for certain states that were in the other bill. One tough issue continues to be abortion. There's disagreement about whether money that would help people buy insurance might somehow cover abortion. People don't see that eye to eye. And taxes, how to work out what taxes, who should be taxed, and how much it would cover. These are tough issues, and that's what makes it so hard to resolve. Brian?
Kelly O'Donnell in Washington, where there's a lot of work to do in the next few days. Kelly, thanks. We turn to the economy now. A new audit of bankrupt Wall Street bank Lehman Brothers shows the company was insolvent weeks before it collapsed and tried to hide its financial condition through misleading accounting tricks like the ones used by Enron. The audit criticizes Lehman's management, accountants, and federal regulators, including the SEC and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, then headed by Timothy Geithner, who now, of course, is Treasury Secretary. Lehman Brothers got in trouble because of bad mortgages, and those problems are still rippling through the U.S. and global economy. The Obama administration is trying to keep people in their homes with modifications to mortgages, but a report out today shows just 16% 10% of the borrowers who signed up were able to really lower their monthly payments permanently. So now the administration is changing course. A big development tonight from our own Diana Olick.
Akina Better lost her job and is about to lose her home.
I am very ready for it to be over.
Unable to pay her mortgage, Akina is trying to save her credit by doing a short sale. That's when the lender agrees to let the borrower sell the home for less than the value of the mortgage.
This might be the way to save my credit from just completely getting wiped out.
Like Akina, 1/4 of all borrowers now owe more than their homes are worth. Short sales are an alternative to foreclosure, but extremely difficult to complete.
We have to call the banks almost every other day for us to be able to get these through the process.
But starting April 5th, the government launches yet another housing rescue, offering banks standard short sale documents and paying them $1,000 per loan to complete the sale quickly. Borrowers would also get $1,500 to move.
I think they want to use any tool they possibly can to keep foreclosures down and keep prices in the housing market stable.
While the Treasury Department is not estimating how many borrowers could benefit, housing experts are hoping it's more successful than the government's loan modification program, which has permanently lowered payments for just 170,000 homeowners.
The government still needs to get the banks on board with this new program, but agreeing to more short sales means showing more losses.
When they take a loss on the mortgage, they have to write down their capital. Banks are starved for capital right now.
But with unemployment driving 6 million mortgage delinquencies, more borrowers will find themselves in Akina's shoes.
This is my first property that I was able to do on my own, and it's going to be a little hard to pack up the boxes, and say goodbyes.
Hoping for a new job and a new home of their own. Diana Olick, CNBC, Washington.
A very big, very slow-moving weather system is barreling eastward for the weekend. Tonight, look at that. Violent weather stretches into the Appalachians all the way south to central Florida. Next, some big population centers will get 3 to 5 inches of rain, maybe more. D.C. to New York. The surf is already up along the Jersey Shore. Winds are at 30 miles an hour. They'll go to 50 before it's all over. The same system then on track to give New England a soaking by Sunday night. There has been another close call involving a commercial airliner, a jumbo jet this time, and a flock of geese. This one happened in the skies over New Jersey. Witnesses described the collision as loud and terrifying, a reminder of the danger of birds and planes sharing the same airspace. The story tonight from NBC's Tom Costello.
It was a harrowing 90 minutes Wednesday for the 301 people on board a fully loaded jumbo jet. Continental Flight 99 from Newark to Hong Kong left at 6:31 and was only 300 feet in the air when it ran into a flock of Canada geese, immediately raising concern that the plane's engines might not make it the 16 hours to Asia. The radar track shows the Boeing 777 circling over New Jersey for nearly 90 minutes while it dumped jet fuel before landing safely back at Newark. The fuel mist evaporating in the sky. Retired 777 Captain Tom Casey knows about dumping 137,000 pounds of fuel. He once had to abort a New York to Tokyo flight.
If you have to come back, you have to land light because the plane can't take a landing at those heavy weights, 200,000 pounds of fuel.
We're going to be in the
Last year's miracle on the Hudson flight drove home the bird risk after geese took out both engines. In the first 9 months of 2009, reports of bird strikes were up 24% to just over 7,200. But that sudden jump is largely because of better reporting. While the geese population is exploding, wildlife experts insist loud cannons, bird trapping, egg and nest removals have already made airports much safer.
But I think the threat is growing outside of the airport environment in these strikes that are occurring at 2,000, 3,000 feet.
That's what happened in November as Frontier Flight 820 departed Kansas City for Denver.
Mayday, Frontier 820, multiple bird strikes.
Frontier 820 landed safely on one engine. To deal with the out-of-airport threat, airports are now experimenting with bird radar to guide planes around large flocks, and also putting strobe lights on planes to scare birds away, all in an effort to reduce costly and potentially deadly encounters in the skies. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Some sharp words for Israel late today from Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in an interview with our own Andrea Mitchell. You may recall earlier this week, Israel waited until Vice President Joe Biden arrived and was on Israeli soil to announce it planned to build more settlements in East Jerusalem. It was a bombshell. Many considered it an insult. Here is what Secretary Clinton said late today at the UN here in New York.
It was really a slap in the face to the visiting vice president.
It was, Andrea, and I've expressed that directly to the Prime Minister.
But this is a setback and insulting.
It was insulting, and it was insulting not just to the Vice President, who certainly didn't deserve that. He was there with a very clear message of commitment to the peace process, solidarity with the Israeli people, but it was an insult to the United States.
Secretary of State Clinton with our own Andrea Mitchell here in New York late today. We turn now to news out of Mexico tonight, where the situation is urgent. The death toll from the ongoing drug war stands at 7 per day. On average, 7 people a day, just under 30 people per week are killed in the fighting, some of the worst of it happening within sight of the U.S. in Juarez, just across the border from El Paso, Texas. Our report tonight from Jose Diaz-Balart of our partner network Telemundo.
Another 24 hours of terror in Ciudad Juarez. Last night, gunmen stormed a funeral home, killing 5 teenagers and a woman as they gathered at a wake for a murder victim. 40 days ago, another massacre rattled this city. 15 teenagers gunned down at a birthday party, including Luz Maria Davila's only 2 children. Davila's son Marcos, a college student, and his 16-year-old brother Jose Luis died when gunmen mistook their friend's home for a gang hideout. Every day, on average, 7 people are found shot or tortured to death. More than 450 so far this year in the region. With more murders than war-ridden Baghdad, Juarez has earned the label of the world's most dangerous city. The lawlessness has led to an exodus from Juarez. 20,000 homes abandoned, 15,000 businesses closed. Mexico's president launched an army assault 3 years ago, but even that has failed to curb the violence.
All of this blood, all of these deaths have many people here in Mexico questioning the effectiveness and even the logic of President Felipe Calderón's war against the drug cartels.
There is more violence today in Ciudad Juarez than ever before. People feel more insecure than ever before.
Former Foreign Minister Jorge Castañeda is among many Mexicans who blame the United States' more than 7 million cocaine users for turning border towns into death havens.
This is really a circular trade. American consumers buy the drugs, send billions of dollars back to Mexico, and that money then fuels the violence in Mexico.
Back in Juarez, grieving parents like Luz Maria Davila hope that no other family has to suffer their loss. But they see no end in sight to the bloodshed. Jose Diaz-Balart, NBC News, Mexico City.
When our broadcast continues on this Friday evening, the Olympics may be over, but a new group of athletes is ready to storm Vancouver with one brave American ready to make history there. And later, 2 months now after the earthquake in Haiti, we'll check in on an orphan brought to the U.S. by a family making a difference in his life.
We speak car. Sure, but do we speak hybrid? Yes, we do. And we can say 700 miles on a single tank and EPA estimated 41 mpg city. And all the words stick because they're true. We speak the most fuel-efficient midsize sedan in America. Yes, we speak car, and apparently quite well. Fusion is now Motor Trend's 2010 Car of the Year. Get in and drive one.
Lindsey Vonn, she stays tough. Earlier, she had an all-over achy cold. What's her advantage? It's Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer Plus. Rushes relief for all-over achy colds. The official cold medicine of the U.S. ski team. Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Of all the things made for women, maybe one of the most important is Centrum Silver Ultra Women's, the complete multivitamin for women over 50. It has vitamin D, which emerging science suggests supports breast health, and more calcium for bone health. Centrum Silver Ultra Women's.
I've had asthma for 12 years. 6 years.
I've had asthma forever.
I never knew why my asthma symptoms kept coming back. Or that I could help prevent them in the first place. The problem was that my controller medicine
was treating only one main cause of asthma symptoms.
but there are two, airway constriction and inflammation.
Unlike most controllers, Advair treats both main causes.
Advair treats both main causes.
And that helps prevent symptoms in the first place.
Advair contains salmeterol. Salmeterol may increase the chance of asthma-related death, so Advair is not for asthma that's well controlled on another controller medicine. Advair will not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Talk to your doctor about the risks and benefits of Advair. If you take Advair, see your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
If it's still having symptoms,
Ask your doctor how to help prevent them with Advair.
Get your first prescription free and save on refills.
Advair. Now you know.
Dateline's Friday night mystery. She made herself irresistible, but her beauty hid a murderous rage.
This person is very, very dangerous.
A fatal attraction. All new Dateline tonight, 9/8 Central on NBC.
Well, the opening ceremonies are tonight for the Winter Games in Vancouver. Not the Olympic Games, but the Paralympics. While it doesn't get the attention the other games get, this is a huge event for hundreds of athletes from around the world, including a team of 50 from the United States. As for the flag bearer for Team USA tonight, our report from NBC's Peter Alexander.
Heath Calhoun never imagined he'd be an Olympian, much less a Paralympic athlete.
Just put a smile on my face every time I pull something out of my bag and it says Team USA on the back of it.
When Calhoun carves his way down the slopes of Whistler next week, it won't be the first time this 30-year-old has represented America. In November 2003, Calhoun was on patrol with the Army's 101st Airborne Division in Mosul, Iraq, when his Humvee was struck by a rocket-propelled grenade.
I can remember looking down at my legs and seeing that my pants were torn, that blood was starting to pool in the back of the truck.
The attack robbed him of both legs. At home, Calhoun began the struggle to move on with his life, but never thought he'd move quite like this.
When I first saw him get on that monoski and they took that tether off, I knew he was hooked.
Using high-tech titanium prosthetics, Calhoun quickly returned to a life without limitations. His coaches say it's nothing short of remarkable that Heath Calhoun has gone from a novice skier to a world-class competitor in less than 6 years. A man defined not by his disability, but by his achievements. The entire Calhoun family shares in the sacrifice, with his father of 3 training away from his home in Tennessee 6 months of the year.
They've sacrificed a lot, you know, soccer games that have been missed and birthdays.
I tell people, you know, he's on his mini deployment. At least this time, you know, he doesn't have RPGs or guns firing at him.
Now, the Calhoun kids are getting ready to cheer for their dad.
Let's go! We get to see his gold medal if he wins. If he doesn't win, I still love him. Daddy wins all the time.
Can I see that? This proud soldier, with a constant reminder of the battlefield.
I figured, you know what, it needed a place of honor on my leg.
Now chasing gold for the red, white, and blue.
Yay!
Peter Alexander, NBC News, Whistler, British Columbia.
When we come back, a new warning about a widely used drug that may not work properly for some who need it.
Good job. Keep going.
You took my egg.
It's an egg management fee.
What does that even mean?
Egg management fee.
Even kids know it's wrong to take other people's stuff. That's why at Ally Bank, we don't eat away at your savings with fees, and we offer rates among the most competitive in the country. It's just the right thing to do.
So long, ooziness.
And your paste can feel oozy. Yuck. But C-Bond adhesive wafers have no paste to use.
Give C-Bond a try.
Bye-bye, ooze. Hello, C-Bond.
Are you taking a statin medication to lower your bad cholesterol, but your good cholesterol and triglycerides are still out of line? Then you may not be seeing the whole picture. Ask your doctor about Trilipix. If If you're at high risk of heart disease and taking a statin to lower bad cholesterol, along with diet, adding Trilipix can lower fatty triglycerides and raise good cholesterol to help improve all three cholesterol numbers. Trilipix has not been shown to prevent heart attacks or stroke more than a statin alone.
Trilipix is not for everyone, including people with liver, gallbladder, or severe kidney disease, or nursing women. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you are pregnant or may become pregnant. Blood tests are needed before and during treatment to check for liver problems. Contact your doctor if you develop unexplained muscle pain or weakness, as this can be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. This risk may be increased when Trilipix is used with a statin.
If you cannot afford your medication, call 1-866-4-TRILIPIX for more information. Trilipix, there's more to cholesterol. Get the picture.
If we don't know how big our community is, how do we know how big our hospitals need to be? The census helps us know exactly what we need, so everyone can get their fair share of funding. We can't move forward until you mail it back. 2010 Census.
Woman down from nasal allergy attack, but we've got the ammunition she needs. Omneris!
Omneris to the nose!
Omneris works differently than many other allergy medications. Omneris fights nasal allergy symptoms that occur from allergic inflammation. Relieve those symptoms with Omneris. Side effects may include headache, nosebleed, and sore throat. Her nose is at ease. We have liftoff! Remember, Omneris. Ask your doctor. In the battle against nasal allergy symptoms, Omneris combats the cause.
The FDA is putting its strongest warning on a heart drug you've no doubt seen advertised called Plavix, cautioning it doesn't work properly in some patients because their bodies can't process it. Plavix is the second best-selling drug in the world. It's prescribed to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke by fighting blood clots. Researchers are working on an alternative for patients who have a genetic variation that prevents them from using it. About 3 to 13% of all Plavix users. Those across-the-chest baby slings are in the news tonight. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says it has investigated 13 deaths related to the slings, most among babies less than 4 months of age. The main risk here, the soft fabric can block the baby's breathing and cause suffocation. Officials said the safest carriers keep the baby upright and pressed firmly against the adult's body. We have two examples of the power of that earthquake that struck Chile 2 weeks ago tomorrow. First, a groundwater seismic measurement device at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, Nebraska. 1930s pen and paper technology. Well, it did show fluctuations at the moment of the Chile quake all the way in Nebraska, as it did the Haiti quake and some other big ones in the past. And on our website, nightly.msnbc.com, there is this new seismic animation of the extraordinary chain of aftershocks that followed for days in Chile. They look like fireworks popping off in time lapse, each one a measurable quake all its own. And to all my fellow former high school football players out there, can you imagine this? The nation has its only female high school head football coach. Natalie Randolph will run the squad at Coolidge High in Washington, D.C. She's a UVA grad. She was the wide receivers coach in high school. She played in a women's pro football league. She's 29, a science teacher by trade. D.C. Mayor Adrian Fenty declared today Coach Randolph Day in Washington. A rival football coach in D.C. said, quote, "All I know is I don't want to be the first one to lose to her." When we come back here tonight, a new home, a new life with some new parents who are making a big difference.
It's not always easy living with COPD, but I try not to let it hold me back. Whether I'm at the batting cages, down by the lake, or fishing at the shore, I'm breathing better with Spiriva.
Spiriva is the only once-daily inhaled maintenance treatment for both forms of COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis and emphysema.
I take it every day. It keeps my airways open to help me breathe better all day long. And it's not a steroid.
Spiriva does not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms. Stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor right away if your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, have vision changes or eye pain, or have problems passing urine. Tell your doctor if you have glaucoma, problems passing urine, or an enlarged prostate, as these may worsen with Spiriva. Also discuss the medicines you take, even eye drops. Side effects include dry mouth, constipation, and trouble passing urine.
My doctor said I could be doing more to breathe better, and now I am.
Ask your doctor about lifestyle changes and once daily Spiriva.
The world watched as America's most beloved actor, Jeff Bridges, won the Academy Award for Best Actor of the Year. Critics everywhere can't say enough about Jeff Bridges. The role of his career. He's never been better. Thank you. He makes us believe in everything he does. Don't miss your chance to see the Oscar-winning performance of a lifetime.
Thanks for coming out. So good to be home.
Crazy Heart, rated R, now playing everywhere.
Sit down. It's okay. You've got Preparation H, with the only cream that gives you maximum strength pain relief and relieves swelling, burning, and itching. Preparation H, doctor recommended by name.
To stay on top of my game after 50, I switched to a complete multivitamin with more. Only one a day Men's 50+ Advantage has ginkgo for memory and concentration, plus support for heart health. That's a great call.
One a day Men's. We speak car. Sure, but do we speak hybrid? Yes, we do. And we can say 700 miles on a single tank and EPA estimated 41 mpg city. And all the words stick because they're true. We speak the most fuel-efficient midsize sedan in America. Yes, we speak car, and apparently quite well. Fusion is now Motor Trend's 2010 Car of the Year. Get in and drive one.
Tomorrow, Ernie Els is in the lead, but reigning champion Phil Mickelson is within striking distance. Can he defeat the Blue Monster and reclaim the title? The CA Championship, tomorrow on NBC.
Time for our Friday Making a Difference report on the 2-month anniversary of the earthquake in Haiti. Adoptions from that country have proven so controversial. Not all of them went well, as you know, but most of them involved good hearts, good homes, and tonight we have a happy outcome, an American couple making a big difference for a Haitian child. Their story from NBC's Mark Potter.
3-year-old Watson Delva is settling into his new life in the U.S.
Good dog, bad dog, neat dog, sloppy.
More than a month and a half ago, adoptive parents Charlie and Laura Chapin brought him home to Sarasota, Florida, to join his new big sister Naomi, who is 4.
He's funny.
Until now, Watson had spent most of his life in a Haitian orphanage, his mother too sick to care for him, his father too poor.
He wasn't going to have a life there, and everybody's seen it, and it's you know, there's no way around it.
For 2.5 years, the Chapins filled out paperwork and waited, and expected to wait months more to adopt Watson, until the U.S. government streamlined the process after the earthquake. His new parents say he's much better off now.
Oh, careful. The most important thing is that he just feels loved and that he just feels like he's in a safe environment.
Cat.
Watson already talks a bit, but in Creole, so the Chapins sometimes struggle to understand him.
A snack, Watson?
And are teaching him English.
He's very strong-willed, very strong-willed little boy. So he's gonna. I don't doubt he won't give us a run for our money, but I think that he's going to also adapt very well in here. So.
In color?
Among other things, Watson's had difficulty learning to accept rules and to share more. In impoverished Haiti, he grabbed and kept whatever he could get. One of the things the family discovered when they took Watson outside, and it's a bit of a concern, is that he has absolutely no fear of strangers and will walk up to anyone. Perhaps because of his time in the orphanage surrounded by so many people. The Chapins say they'll make sure Watson always honors his Haitian heritage as he enjoys the promise of life in this country. Mark Potter, NBC News, Sarasota.
And that is our broadcast for this Friday night and for this week. I'm Brian Williams. Thank you, as always, for being with us. A reminder, this is the weekend we spring forward. Daylight saving time begins. Clocks go ahead 1 hour, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Lester Holt will be here with you tomorrow night. In the meantime, have a good weekend. We hope to see you right back here on Monday night. Good night.
Monday, a Today exclusive. Todd Bridges,
This former child star plunged into a life of crime and drug addiction. Now he shares his troubled past as a way to help others. On Today on NBC.
March Mania. Chevy specials at UP Mall. 7 days. 100 new Chevys must be sold.
7 special sale days at University Park Mall. Joel, what's the bottom dollar on new Malibus? Only $15,500. Bring that $3,000 trade-in to Gates. Malibu's only $15,500. UP Mall. 7 big days.